Story 1. Staying up way too late scrolling through memes and cute cats. I know it messes with my sleep, but honestly, nothing beats that late night meme rabbit or cat hole when you're supposed to be winding down. Story 2. Being a night owl. You will never convince me that waking up early in the morning feels better than being awake at night when everyone else is asleep. I can do my thing without being perceived. Story 3. I drink too much coffee. I know I do. I know it's bad for me. I'm not a health professional, but I do have a biomedical bachelor's degree. I know it's a bad habit. My loved ones tell me, my doctors tell me, I'm still going to drink too much coffee, about 8 cups a day. Story 4. Unless I am expecting guests, I am not using my dressers. One basket equals clean clothes. One basket equals dirty clothes. Exceptions. Nice collared shirts and office attire get hung up in the closet. Out-of-season clothes go in the dressers. Story 5. Going to sleep after midnight, always 1 to 3 in the morning before I sleep. It's not good for me, and I wake up in the afternoon each time, but it's harder to stop when you share a room with someone who does the exact same. Story 6. Playing video games for 10 hours straight on my day off. That is because, despite it being a bad habit, I probably engage in this habit in the healthiest way possible. I only drink water and plenty of it. I get up regularly between matches or while waiting for friends or through other tasks that involve waiting, as well as at random intervals, and do pull-ups, push-ups, sit-ups, and lift light weights I keep by my desk. I do not snack ever and rarely bring food into my office, and only if it is something that does not leave behind a mess. I keep my office clean. I also go downstairs regularly to tell my girlfriend how beautiful she is and give her a hug. Story 7. Procrastinating. No matter what, even when the situation is dire, I still manage to complete the task I'm putting off in the end anyway, once it becomes a do-or-die situation. And I know it would be so much less stressful to just not push it off until the very last second, but oh well. Story 8. My vape. It helped me kick a 20-year smoking habit, as of 8 years ago now. Yes, I'm still consuming nicotine, but in a nearly incomparable state when you look at what's in the vape versus what's in a cigarette. I make my own liquids or juice, I build my own coils, and I create my own recipes. I do it yourself the entire thing. I know exactly what's going into it. It's a hobby, I enjoy it, and it's how I consume one of the 2 drugs I'm addicted to, the other being caffeine. Note, I am not saying vaping is safe. It is not. What I am saying is that research has shown that it is safer than smoking due to all the chemicals manufacturers put in cigarettes being absent in a vape. I am also not encouraging anyone to pick up vaping if you're not already doing it. That said, if you're a smoker and you want to quit, consider switching to a vape and use it as a step-down method to reduce your nicotine intake to 0. I started at 12 milligrams per 100 milliliter strength and am currently at 3 milligrams. Story 9. I have so much love for myself and everyone else in my life. I feel loved and cared for all the time by everyone, and I have enough, way more than enough, to give to other people. I gave some to the wrong people too, but maybe they needed that, and I hope in that moment in time they also feel loved and cared for too. Story 10. Desperately wanting to change, but the lack of energy makes me unwilling to change. For example, I want to get my associate's degree, but work and life have me so drained of energy that I have not worked on classwork for 2 to 3 weeks. Story 11. Sleeping in on the weekends may not be considered a bad habit, but some people frown upon it. Sleeping in is what makes the weekend for me. A Friday night is not special if you are going to wake up early on Saturday. Story 12. I'm almost 36, and I still occasionally suck my thumb. It's a self-soothing thing. It didn't ruin my teeth. I never needed braces. Any cavities I have are from my insane sugar addiction. I never got sores on my thumb or any of the other things adults told me would happen. It is actually a pretty good indicator of when my mental health is going poorly, so I have that going for me. Story 13. Binging shows and snacks when I've had a truly horrific mental health day. It may not be a permanent fix, but I've learned that I deserve happiness, no matter how small. Story 14. Wine every night. I don't get hammered or anything, but I drink wine every night. I've been pulling the labels from the bottles and have been creating art with them, so I guess that's a good thing. Story 15. blocking or distancing myself from people who I know are bad for my mental health. Some may consider it rude, and it seems antisocial, but I would not exchange that peace of mind for anything. Story 16. Spending on my hobbies. I collect Transformers primarily, sometimes Lego, and die-cast cars here and there. I love collecting them and don't plan on stopping. Story 17. Hoarding things like this bit of string. Yes, who knows? I might need it later on. My husband kind of hates this, but he is kind of glad. A few times, my hoarding has been helpful, mainly when our kid has an art project for class. Need cardstock for party invitations? I've got 50 different colors. Also, my jumping from hobby to hobby. I know how to sew by hand and by machine, the majority of the process for shearing sheep and processing their wool. A year in Future Farmers of America raising a lamb. 3D animation, cross-stitch, crocheting, cooking pastries, spinning yarn, and making felt from fur. Story 18. Weed. I had to have 2 surgeries early this year to repair a collapsed lung, and I have almost completely stopped smoking. Goddamn, it is hard to give up the bong after almost 10 years of everyday smoking, even though I know I need to take care of my lungs in favor of edibles. But I don't think I will ever give it up entirely. Story 19. I've been using nasal decongestants daily for the last 15 years. I have absolutely zero will to try to wean off, and I am fully aware of how bad it is. Story 20. I love Diet Coke. I don't drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, or do any drugs. I exercise regularly and eat well. I drink about 8 liters a week. Let me have this one vice. Story 21. Roaming around with my friend for no reason, with no plan, just because we were feeling bored. It feels like it costs me my kidney, but never mind. I love the satisfaction afterward. Story 22. The pizza. I don't know if I would say it's a bad habit, though. I only do it right before I go to sleep. For some reason, I have a really hard time falling asleep, so whenever I feel like I'm ready to go to bed for the night, I just spark up and pass out. Story 23. Smoking weed. I will probably stop the act of smoking soon, but I will never give up weed. Without it, my already vivid dreams are surreally vivid. I wake up confused and tired from an overactive brain. Plus, it helps with the nausea from migraines, and it is fun to do when I want to relax. Story 24. I know it's so bad for my lungs, and I know I am capable of quitting if I truly wanted to. But to me, it's not negatively impacting my life to the point where I can noticeably feel the effects. However, the anxiety, headaches, cravings, and short temper I get from nicotine withdrawal would negatively impact my quality of life so much. Especially with everything I have going on right now in my life. It's just easier to keep pushing it aside and lie to myself. I'll quit when I have nothing to do, rather than go through all of that mess right now. Story 25. Nicotine. I would love to quit, but it's the last vice I have, and it's honestly so nice. I wish it weren't so bad for me because it makes getting through my days so much easier. Story 26. Desperately wanting to change, but the lack of energy makes me unwilling to change. For example, I want to get my associate's degree, but work and life have me so drained of energy that I have not worked on classwork for 2 to 3 weeks. Story 27. I have a habit of scrolling through my phone late at night, even when I know I should be sleeping. It is a way for me to unwind, even if it means sacrificing rest. I think we all have those habits that bring us comfort, and for now, I am okay with mine. Story 28. I like my video games. If I can sit for 3 hours on my day off after chores and do silly things on my computer, I'm going to. I don't know if it's a bad habit or not, but people ask, why not go to the beach? Or let's go to the park. So I don't know if it's bad, but they make it seem bad. I just like my silly activities with my best friends online. Story 29. My wife and I say to each other on Saturdays, we should do this today, but I'm going to chill a few hours this morning. And then not doing this and instead getting stoned and chilling all day. Story 30. Smoking cigars. I don't do it often, but I love to relax in the evening or after doing yard work with a big, fat cigar. I always love the smell of a good cigar. Story 31. My mom insisted that I not tell anyone, and I mean anyone, like, my mom's making a feast. She will get me after all the people leave and shout at me. You shouldn't have said that to them, and she will give me a warning about it. For some reason, she doesn't want to hit me or kick me in the back like that. Story 32, vaping. I smoked about a pack of cigarettes a day for over 10 years, and vaping helped me quit cold turkey a few years ago. I have been dieting with great results. I have quit hard drugs and pills, but I don't want to start smoking again. I'll happily use a vape until I decide that I'm ready without fearing that I might go back to tobacco. Story 33. I start off most mornings with a cigarette and a 12-ounce White Claw drink. It's the only cigarette and alcohol I have all day unless it's my birthday or New Year's. I guess I'm not much of a morning person or need a boost to get there. I don't know. I buy a pack of cigarettes and a variety 12-pack of those White Claws, and it lasts me 2 weeks. Story 34. Eating late at night, drinking coffee every morning, brushing my teeth after drinking my coffee. I eat when I am hungry, coffee helps me enjoy my morning, and brushing my teeth after gets rid of the coffee smell. It establishes a routine so I can wash my face immediately after. Story 35. Sugary coffee drinks. More often than not, I need the extra energy of caffeine in the morning, so I justify the purchase of a nice flavored latte. Then I'm tired at the end of the day and sleep after work, then wake up and have trouble sleeping until 2 a.m. Then the cycle repeats. Story 36. It is hard to describe, but there is this weird thing I do where fiddling with a straw between my fingers helps me to think creatively. You will notice straws just laying all around the house. I know it seems odd, but I find it useful. Story 37. Not finishing up work or studies until I am absolutely done with it does not matter how long it takes, so it ends up affecting my health and my lifestyle as a whole. Story 38. Caffeinated coffee. I don't care if my heart explodes. I'm going to drink it. A little background. I have severe food allergies. I have gone into anaphylaxis several times and am thankful that I'm still here to be able to post on Reddit. But if you take my coffee away, I'll cut you. Story 39. Being cheap as hell, I cook all my meals at home. I don't even buy frozen or single-serve items because I feel like it's a scam. The last time I purchased a single water bottle was probably 10 years ago. I'll make a grocery list and hold off on things, telling myself, you still have about 2 weeks worth of bleach. You don't need it this week. Wait until next week. When I have to run errands, I'll try to combine them all on one day so I don't have to use the car every single day. I'll plan it to save gas money. During the summer and spring, I will turn the air conditioner off and open all the windows. It saves me $50 a month on electricity. When I use the dishwasher, I won't use the heating element, and that saves me about $20 a month. I work from home and I take notes on a little notebook pad. I will use every square inch of it before I flip to another page. I've never been on vacation, but I did put myself through college, and I'm doing it again a second time, paying out of pocket. But my weakness is romantic partners. I will splurge on them endlessly. It's hard not to because I like them so much. I will switch my income and lifestyle around for them. Story 40. Eating junk food. I don't drink, smoke, gamble, or do any drugs, so junk food is my only vice. Sometimes I get into a health kick and eat healthily, but after a couple of days, I remind myself that life is short. If I were to die tomorrow, one of my regrets would be not eating more of the food I wanted to eat. Story 41. Drinking soda. If I was told I had to stop drinking alcohol, okay, I'd miss it a little, but I'd stop. If I was told to stop drinking soda, I really don't know if I could. Story 42. Entenmann's chocolate donuts. They are my weakness. I rarely buy them because they are awful for me, but they taste like Christmas morning. They were a mainstay at Christmas breakfast, so they actually do taste like Christmas morning to me. They remind me of my loved ones, many of whom are gone now. And if I keep eating the damn things, I'll be joining those people sooner than expected. Story 43. Energy drinks. My caffeine tolerance is so high now that coffee does absolutely nothing for me. I need my caffeine. I work 10-hour night shifts in a factory setting. Story 44. I drink and eat more than I should, but both are very, very tasty. I should probably at least practice a bit more moderation, but I'm a big believer in making sure you enjoy life, even if some of those things aren't good for you. Story 45. drinking an almost absurd amount of Diet Coke. 1 on the way to work, at least 4 at work, 3 to 5 more in the evening. But I quit drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes. Story 46. Honestly, for the time being, smoking. I've recently moved to rolling my own, so it's no longer that expensive at all, and I love the different flavors of the various tobacco blends I can get. I love the immediate sense of relief, the first great smoke-filled sigh of the day after a drag. I love the ritual of rolling the thing. I really love cigarettes. Story 47. I sit there and twirl my mustache when I'm deep in thought. Sometimes I'll be at it for several minutes at a time. Someone tried to point it out to me like I didn't already know, so now I just refuse to quit because it bothers the people I'm around. Story 48. My gym habit. It's not a good session for me unless it's at least 2 hours long. I always tell myself that I could have worse habits like drugs or alcohol. Story 49. Refusing help when offered, even after I publicly vent, like within a friend group. I don't know what it is, but the concept that someone actually wants to help me doesn't make sense, and I think I'm okay right now to just suffer in silence. Also, caffeine. Story 50. Overspending as a make-me-feel-better type of coping mechanism when I have really bad days. I do pay it off, and when I say this, it isn't online shopping or more than $200, and it is few and far between. But I do find that it does feel better for the moment of crisis, and I'm not willing to change that.